Hi, Paul here from Photogenius. In this short video, I want to share with you 10 things that you can do to improve your photography. Now, nothing drives me crazier than seeing wonky horizons. Yes, I know we can edit our images and fix this using Photoshop or similar software. We even have free apps on our smartphones that can do this for us. But let's try and get as much as we can right when we're taking the photo, so we spend less time in front of the computer editing our images. Now, bonus tip, if you like landscape photography, think very carefully about where you place the horizon within your frame. Generally speaking, it is more visually appealing if the horizon is not sitting in the middle, about a third up from the bottom of the frame, or sometimes a third down from the top of the frame. Look up, Google the rule of thirds for more information on this one. Now, the Nifty 50 is the affectionate name for this lens, the 50mm f1.8 prime lens. It's a fantastic lens and it's particularly popular because it's nice and cheap. But don't be fooled, it's a great lens. It's great for a couple of reasons. It's fantastic in low light, and it's a very popular lens if you want to create nice blurry backgrounds that make your subject stand out. This lens is so good, I've made a video just about this lens, and you can see the link just up here. Remember the name, the Nifty 50. Now, my next tip is to get out of auto. Auto mode can be quite useful when you've got a brand new camera, but you're going to quickly tire of it. The best thing to do is get into the manual modes, and if manual seems a bit scary at first, consider using the priority modes. There's two of these, aperture priority and shutter priority. Shutter priority is a particular favourite of mine when I'm shooting sports because I'm able to choose a fast shutter speed to freeze the action, but the camera looks after the aperture for me. Get out of auto. Now, as photographers, we often work really hard to avoid blur, but we can use blur for effect because blur gives us a feeling of movement. So consider adding a bit of blur to your photos. It could be a waterfall, it could be somebody running or cycling, it could be a spinning Ferris wheel. There's movement all around us. So consider adding a bit of blur to your images for effect. Slowing the shutter speed down will create blur. Have fun with it. Now, if you're going to take photos in low light, and especially at night time, you're going to need a tripod, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, from this very small compact Manfrotto Pixie up to this larger Joby GorillaPod, and of course this full-size Manfrotto tripod here. A tripod is a must-have bit of kit, and for details on any of these tripods, just check out the notes below the video. Now, a good composition tip is to fill the frame with your subject, and this sometimes means bringing the camera closer to our subject. But there lies a problem. I get asked time and time again, why when I get close to my subject can the camera not focus? Or why can't the lens not focus? Now, that's because every lens has its limitations, and if you're not sure how close you can get to your subject, check out the lens. On the side of this Canon 50mm lens, there's some numbers here, and this tells me how close I can get. 0.35 meters, 1.1 feet, any closer than that and this lens will not be able to focus. So look on the side of the lens. It's usually written on the side of the lens, or in the case of this Nikon, it's written around the front. Now, most digital cameras give us two options when we take our photos, and those are looking at our subject via the LCD screen or using the camera in the traditional way, which is looking through the viewfinder. This is the one I prefer personally. Now, of course, it's up to you. There are benefits to both, but here's a couple of reasons why I think using the viewfinder is the way to go. Number one, holding a camera out like this to look at the screen is a very unsteady way of holding a camera. If your arms move about while you're taking a picture, there's a good chance your photo will be blurry, because what you're doing is you're recording the camera movements. Putting the camera up to your eye, tucking your elbows in, is a very solid way of holding the camera, and that way you're going to get less blur. Another reason I like the viewfinder is this. I live in Brisbane, it's very sunny here a lot of the time, and this screen can be a nightmare to see on a bright day. But I can look through the viewfinder and I can see my subject very clearly at night time or on the brightest of days. So for me, using the viewfinder is still the preferred way to go. Now, did you know you can adjust your viewfinder as well to suit your eyes? I've done a separate video just on this subject, and I'll put a link up here for you. Now, I love looking at the work of other photographers because I find it inspirational. If I can, I go to galleries and exhibitions, and I also collect photography books. So my next tip is to do exactly that. Check out what the others are doing. Check out some of the greats. If you like landscape photography, Ansel Adams. If you like portraiture, check out Steve McCurry or Irving Penn. Or maybe street photography is your thing. If so, one of the greats, Henri Cartier-Bresson. Amazing work. Or at the very least, hop on Instagram. There are literally hundreds of thousands of images being posted on Instagram every single day. And for me, it's a constant source of inspiration. So my advice is to check out the work of other photographers. And if you're not sure where to start, I'll put together a list of websites and places you should go check out. Just click on the Show More link. You'll find that below the video. Now, there is a saying that goes, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Photographers avoid the midday sun, mostly because it's very harsh, not very camera or photo friendly light. So consider getting up a little bit earlier so you can catch those first rays of sunshine as the sun breaks over the horizon. Alternatively, hang around for what is commonly called the golden hour, sunset. Your efforts will be rewarded. Now, my final tip is this. Consider doing a photography course so you can better understand your camera. In particular, understanding the concepts of aperture, shutter speed and ISO are particularly important because they are the building blocks, the foundations of photography. So consider taking a course so you can better understand this. If you live here in Brisbane or live near Brisbane, come and see me. I've been running Photogenius now for 8 years. So if you're lucky to live in this part of the world, come and spend a day with me and I will show you how to get better photos with your camera. I might be a little bit biased on this one, but a photography course is going to teach you how to get out of auto into the manual mode to take better photos and be more creative with your digital camera. So if you're a regular viewer, you'll know by now that I absolutely love photography and I love sharing the knowledge with you and helping others to take better photos. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing by clicking the link over here. You can also leave your comments down below. I hope to see you again soon. See ya!